Super Thursday!
Woo!
And I'm in Nebraska with Tyson from Nebraska Brewing Company.
And we're in
I'm on the computer screen that you're looking at right now, bitches.
Yeah, and we're in our old Nubu Thursday studios at the moment. This is kind of like a weird meta thing. Like they're on their computer screens looking at your computer screen. It was like it's very 21st century.
It's very
I'm
internet.
staring at blurry cameras. Yeah, this doesn't work.
So what are you guys doing over there, Steven?
We're at the Great Nebraska Beer Festival, which is, quite frankly, one of the most awesome beer festivals in the country, probably only shadowed by GABF, which, if you guys ever top GABF, then kudos to you, because damn.
Well, I hope we never get that big.
Yeah. He's like, I can barely organize this as it is.
It's not even the organizing. It's just more fun at this scale,
right?
You know, for everybody.
Did we say?
Now there's 80+ breweries here. There's over 400 beers.
Yeah, we lost count, but right around 400.
It's insane. It's incredible. The weather's kind of sucked, but it really didn't hamper anybody's enjoyment. Everybody came out into the rain, and we've just been having a blast. We're all wet and happy and drinking beer, so it's all good.
Hey, you guys. Speaking of drinking beer, we've got Nebraska's.
Chill.
Oh, we've got. I'm sorry. I feel like I have to yell at them because I'm talking into another state.
We're talking into a tube.
What's up?
Yeah. But anyways, we are going to be drinking Nebraska's Fathead barrel-aged barley wine. You guys got the Fathead in front of you, don't you?
We do.
Did we say who we were with?
We did introduce Tyson, correct?
Yeah, I introduced Tyson.
Okay, I missed it.
Good.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
Everyone knows who Tyson is anyway. He's like, what? I don't need an introduction.
I don't know, yeah. I make the beer I'm the brewer at Nebraska Brewing Company. I have a guy that makes the beer for me. That's how it works now.
Sam would have been like, you don't make the beer, bitch.
Yeah,
what?
that's true, it's true.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
So we're pouring our beer right now, if you guys are doing the same.
We are pouring ours as well.
All right.
So Tyson, what's going on with this beer here?
So Fathead's a beer. It was developed by our owner Paul as a homebrew. I think he was trying to knock out some huge Scotch Ale at the time and get all of his work buddies drunk. We've scaled it back. It used to be like 14% alcohol when he homebrewed it. We brought it down to around 11, and then we aged it in whiskey barrels that we previously used for our Imperial Stout Black Betty. So whiskey character's still pretty prominent, but not as strong as if we had gone straight into a fresh whiskey barrel. And everybody wants to know, is it an English barley wine? Is it an American barley wine? You know, it's really neither. It started out as a Scotch ale that got a little too big for it. We bumped it into the barley wine category. Lots of brown sugar in the kettle to boost it up, give it kind of that alcoholic edge. But it's drinkable in the barrel more than hops, so.
All right.
I made most of that out.
Yeah, me too. It's got a really wonderful malt character, but it's nice because it's not so overwhelmingly sticky like you would, expect for a beer that's this big. I mean, it's got a really great balance to it. It's really very nice.
Yeah, it dries out nicely. I think that's the hop characteristic that's drying it out at the end. Is that correct?
I think for us, we're just not fans of sticky beers here. So we mash things and ferment them so they end up drier. So we can have an 11% beer that will pour out of your glass instead of staying stuck in your glass.
Yeah, I know Steve's not a big fan of barley wines, and while they're having their own little conversation, I don't know if they can even hear us because we couldn't hear them.
I don't think so either, and so.
But Steve's not a huge fan of really sticky barley wines, really malty, sugary, sticky barley wines. I know that for a fact, and that's not why I chose this, but I chose it simply because it's a really good take on a barley wine. I think it tastes really, really good. But like Tyson was saying, it does finish very dry. The fact that they mash so low to accomplish that, I kind of think I would do the same thing if I was to make a barley wine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a huge fan of those sticky beers either.
Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of times with barley wines. You'll make one and it'll be amazing for 2 ounces or so, but after that, I mean, you're completely done with it. I would like to have 4, maybe 8 ounces of a barley wine, and I think you guys did a really great job with this one. So
yeah, it's extremely drinkable, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, exactly.
It just goes down really easy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
Hey, there you are. You're back.
We have a bottling coming up actually called Responsibly. which is a Belgian dark strong aged in cognac barrels, and hopefully you get a bottle or two of that, because if you like this, it's going to blow your socks off.
Cool. I want to drink responsibly.
I love it when my socks are blown.
Nice.
So we're here because of the Great Nebraska Beer Festival, and I think it behooves us to take a few minutes to talk about that because it's such a great event. Just talk a little bit about how the organization behind that is, and I mean, you guys have 80+ breweries here, which is insane. Like,
yeah.
How do you accomplish that? Because it's basically a parking lot in your brewery.
Yeah. We started out small. This is our 4th year running Great Nebraska Beer Fest. I think our first year we had 22 breweries, and it hasn't been quite exponential growth, but pretty close. So last year in our 3rd year we had around 50, maybe 45, 50. Now we're up to 80. A lot of it just comes down to having good friends in the brewing world. We twisted Stone's arm. We got Stone here. We have Green Flash in our market now, so they're at our festival. Maui Brewing, Heretic, just the list goes on. Not people that don't sell beer in our market, but want to help us promote craft beer in our market, and so that's really awesome.
And I know for myself, like I've been wandering around today. I've drank about 15 beers that I'd never seen before, never had before. One thing I really appreciate about your brew fest is that you include the local homebrewers.
Yeah.
The local homebrewer clubs are here. They're serving their beers, which I don't think we could do in California because of licensing.
Sure.
I think that's a big issue, but that to me is awesome because I know, like, last night at the Brewers Reception, I had peanut butter and jelly time.
Yeah.
And it's a blend. It's like a black and tan, but it's a peanut butter brown stout with a strawberry, like the strawberry wheat ale.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And it literally tastes like you're drinking a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it was so freaking amazing.
We've got a great community, home brewing wise, and they always bring the most fun beers.
Right on.
Very good.
Sounds
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to go to a Master Pairings right now. Seems like a good time.
Seems like a good time to go to Master Pairings, yes,
this
indeed.
This is another cigar pairing we did with Chris White from Golden State Cigars. And I forgot the cigar they're smoking, but I know they're pairing it with Pliny the Elder.
Ah, yes. Right on.
That should be fun.
Let's go and check that out.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairing. I'm your host, Bill Sysak. Today I have Chris White from Golden State Tobacco. It's another beer and cigar pairing. I'm going outside my norms a little bit. I'm doing perhaps the world's best double IPA, Pliny the Elder from Russian River. Beautiful 8% double IPA, really well balanced, but with a huge hop profile. Now, normally when I do a cigar, recommend a cigar with a double IPA, I'm usually looking for something with a Corojo wrapper, maybe even lighter Connecticut wrapper with some intensity of flavor. But we're going a little bit bigger today, aren't we?
Yeah, this is the Casa Magna Poquito. This has a Colorado wrapper. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, so wrapper, binder, filler, all from Nicaragua. It's a small cigar. It's a Petite Corona, 4 3/4 by 42. But don't be fooled. This cigar definitely packs a punch. It's definitely a full-bodied cigar. So, and it's actually my everyday smoking cigar. I smoke probably 4 or 5 cigars a day, and
don't hate them.
It's I prefer smaller ring gauges preferably, but don't be fooled by the size. It's a full-bodied cigar. So
we'll get into that in a minute. Like I said, usually I want something lighter. I think it's going to be an interesting pairing, though.
Yeah.
And I like to stretch the boundaries, so I think it'll be really fun to do this. And this is just a great beer. Plus, I was in the mood for a double IPA, so. Beautiful golden color, great hop aroma. I can smell it from here. Just delicious. And the cigar is a beautiful cigar. Chris turned me on to these. I definitely like these smaller ring gauge, quicker cigars. Sometimes you only have a half hour. And, you don't want to necessarily waste the big cigar because you only get to smoke 2 inches of it.
That's right.
So this is the perfect cigar when you've got stuff to do, but you want to have a little, enjoyment. You can sit there for a half hour, 45 minutes, and not feel like you've wasted the cigar.
You don't feel like you have to commit.
Cheers, my friend. Have you had Pliny the Elder before?
Nope, sure
All
haven't.
right, this is the first. Big hops, well balanced, rounded. Curious to see what it does with this little more intense cigar.
That's good.
Definitely shows more pronounced peppery spice notes with it.
Yeah.
When you're pairing, you definitely do comparison and contrast. This isn't necessarily contrasting, but it's definitely giving that cigar a big punch with the tobacco flavors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not overly intense. The Colorado wrapper is kind of in that medium range of wrappers.
Yep.
You know, you could start all the way out to Candela, which is basically a green cigar, which used to be the most popular cigar wrapper in America.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's still a great cigar.
Yeah, I mean, since I smoke these every day, I can tell you, you know, the first third what you're gonna, you know, encounter, and it's gonna be, you know, some leathery, you know, real peppery, you know, flavors. But you know, it's a strong peppery flavor, but it's really nice on the palate, so it's not overwhelming.
Right.
And
it really works well with this beer.
Yeah,
it actually it pronounces those peppery notes, but the hops hold up. You still get that nice, rich Pliny the Elder flavor. It's just delicious. I know our cameraman's drooling. When we get done with the first third, we're gonna make sure he gets some of this and go on to second third. But this is a really good cigar. Now these guys are well rewarded too. So what was it, 2009?
I'm sorry, 2008. The Casa Magna, for the you know, those of you that don't know, they're made by the Quesada family, who also does the Fonseca brands, and they come from, you know, the old school generations back in the Cuban days, and you know, their factories are now in Nicaragua. But yeah, in 2008, their Robusto cigar got #1 rated cigar in Cigar Aficionado, and it was actually the first year the cigar had been released. They have 5 different sizes. They have the Robusto, the Gran Toro, Bellicoso, the Paquito, and Salomon. They just introduced the new Domus Magnus line, which is their limited edition, and you know, just a very you know, very good, consistent cigar. You know, no matter which size you smoke. Right. Price points are phenomenal. If you go to your local tobacco shop, depending where you're at, you'll probably spend, you know, $4 to $6. You know, you get them from me, you'll probably pay about $3. So
there you go.
It's not going to break the bank when you're, you know, smoking these. So
yeah. This is an IPA. It's not a champagne style beer, for example, or even a saison or a sour, but it's a beer that you wouldn't normally think pairing with a cigar, but you can, and that's what's great about craft beer. You can definitely have a wide range of cigars. There's really no cigar that you can't pair a beer with.
Yeah, sure.
And that's what's great about it.
And you do a phenomenal job doing that. I mean, your palate is phenomenal.
We're going to cut away. We're going to come back in the second third and fill you in if this beer still can hold up to it. Cheers. So we're in that middle third now. It's really smoking great. Flavor's picked up a little bit. I'm interested to see how the IPA holds up.
Definitely getting stronger as we get down to the second, third.
Tell us a little bit about the different parts of the tobacco plant.
So on the tobacco plant, you have, like you said, you know, the filler, the binder, the wrapper. Typically, the filler is the smaller portions of the tobacco plant towards the top.
Okay. Kind of crown.
Yeah, ripped tobacco leaves. The binder, as you get down to the plant, you know, some of the bigger leaves. You know, tobacco plant grows from the bigger leaves down below up to smaller.
Right.
You get on the binder, you get more of the bigger leaves, and then the lower portion of the tobacco plant where you get the bigger leaves, that's what they use for the wrappers. So
right, because they're the most pristine leaf, so
exactly,
they're not a lot of veins and stuff, and it's
exactly. And you know, towards the top of the plant, that's where you get the most sunlight. So top of the plant is what they call the ligero, and the ligero is when you're blending a cigar, that's where you get most of the strength out of the cigar. So the more Ligero in a cigar, the more stronger it's going to be. So, you know, La Flor Dominicana, for example, they put out their Double Ligero cigar, very strong, powerful cigar. Then you have the Seco, which is just below the Ligero, and then the Volado, which is, you know, below the Seco. Both of those are used as part of the blending process to get the flavor profile of the cigars.
Okay. So this is drinking great. Like I said, it's really fun because you taste the Pliny. You almost get like espresso notes off the beer, but then, and it's because of that residual flavor from the cigar. And then the hops shine through, and it's really beautiful, and you get these floral notes. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to get down to the last third, and we're going to finish this up and see where we're doing and see if this beer can still hang with that last third, which is usually the most intense. So we'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, so we're in our last third of the cigar. Much more intense, man. This is really impressive. The
definitely
way
picks up as you get down to the foot of the cigar.
What would you? What flavors are you picking up?
I'm still getting a lot of peppery, you know, flavors. A little bit of coffee, but it's definitely getting stronger as you get to the last third. And for a little cigar like this, you would not, you know, you wouldn't think it, but
I think having peppery notes in the cigars really helps when you're going with a lighter beer pairing. You can do a saison, for example, which it naturally lends itself to pepperiness, or a big double IPA like this. But you're right, the flavors are intensified, but they're still here.
Yeah, and it's not too overpowering. It's still, you know, easy on the palate, but you know, cigars holding up very well. You know, like I said, I smoke, you know, 4 or 5 of these a day, and I'd say about 10% of the time, you know, because it's a smaller ring gauge, you tend to get more plugged cigars.
Okay.
Just because it's such a smaller, you know, smaller ring gauge, and you know, it's a tighter roll, but you know, it's a phenomenal everyday smoke, and I mean, for the price point, you can't beat it.
Right. And by plug cigars, you mean somewhere along the length there's a really tight area that's really hard, and it's harder to draw.
Yep, exactly. Okay. And what you can do if you encounter that is, they call it a Cuban massage. You basically, you know, just kind of roll it around in your fingers and push down on the wrapper, and that'll loosen up the tobaccos inside. So if not, there's different tools you can get to insert into one of the ends of the cigars and open it up a little bit. But
okay. The beer is still holding up, believe it or not. Even with the intensity of flavors, the beer is still fabulous. You still get that nice hops, and the espresso notes play through. You get really nice pepper coming through on the front palate, and then it washes over with the intense coffee flavor, and then you get those nice hops balance. Before we finish up here really quick, there's a lot of confusion. I know people ask me all the time, what's up with all the different names for the cigar sizes?
You know, there's so many different names and shapes out there. It's more, you know, of an art, I think, you know, because you know, the making of a cigar is, you know, such an art form. If you know any of you have had a opportunity to go to any of the factories and you know, take a tour of a tobacco, you know, plant, you know, you have your classic Robusto, you know, Corona, Churchill sizes, but you know, these guys have taken it up to the next level, and they've, you know, created double Perfecto, you know, Salamones. Just they've gotten real creative with, you know, the different cigar shapes and names, and you know, it makes it you know, interesting, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
It does definitely make it interesting. The key is there's a lot. You can go online, or you can get a book. You can read about the different size cigars and learn about Robustos, Coronas, double Coronas, things like that. And then even if they're called some funky name, if you recognize the size, you know what you're getting.
Yep.
And that's the key. Yep. Well, Chris, thank you for all this amazing information. Really appreciate having a cigar professional here. I know a lot about cigars, but it's always best to have somebody here. Even I know a lot about beer, but it's just like having the brewmaster there, where he can really talk about the process and little things that we don't think about every day. So cheers, my friend.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you for being on Master Pairing. Thank you guys for watching another Master Pairings. Yep. Cheers.
And we're back. And we're still Skyping, and it's kind of an odd experience.
Skype, bitches, what's up?
Yeah. In conclusion, this beer is delicious, and I feel sad that I am not there with you guys because I would really like to have this direct from the source.
You should feel sad because it's pretty awesome here in Nebraska right now, and that's coming from the dude that hates the Midwest. And I've been reminded of that about 18 times today from people that came up to me and they're like, "Hey, I watch your show. Fuck you." And I'm like, "Oh,
well,
I'm sorry. I don't hate the Midwest. I just hate everything not craft beer about it."
Well, it's not like you don't say that you hate the Midwest every single show.
Say, this festival really kind of like reawakens my love of the Midwest, like, because there's
You're
so
just
much
saying that to make up for shit.
There. Yeah, there's so much amazingness happening, and you guys are doing such a great job with it.
Right on. A couple things that we've got coming up. We're going to be at the OC Brouhaha on September 8th.
Yep.
You should go. We still have a coupon code, I believe, don't we?
Yeah, it's NBT VIP, and it's a free upgrade to the VIP tickets, which is you get in a little bit earlier. And some other stuff. You are that much cooler.
Exactly. Just makes you badass.
Yeah.
And you get it for free, thanks to MBT.
Yeah, so enter the code, and you get the upgrade, and we look cool. Now they're laughing.
Yeah, no, they're just doing silly things.
We're just doing
over
two
here.
separate shows at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. We've also got GABF coming up.
That's coming up middle of October.
Second weekend of October, I believe. You guys are going to be stop doing that. What are you?
Whoa, what's happening?
Okay, we're moving to GABF.
Come on, whatever.
You guys talk about GABF.
Never.
Hey Steve, what are we doing at GABF?
We're gonna party and we're gonna have the time of our lives, and it's gonna be like a Journey song. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Don't stop believing.
The wheel in the sky does keep on turning.
Yep.
But anyways, this was kind of awkward, but I also thought it was sort of fun. So, Tyson, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And until next week, stay safe and drink beer.
Hey, that's my line.
Just say cheers.